Well, it's officially one of my favorite times of year once again. Hot Rod Power Tour. I think it's the 29th annual and it's the 75th anniversary of Hot Rod. It's going to be a huge one. If you've never heard of Power Tour, go to hotrod.com, check it out. We've been going for years and it's a ton of fun. Basically, the world's largest traveling car show, usually 6,000 or more cars of all makes and models, hot rods to exotics. 5 cities, 5 days, and events in between. It's a ton of fun. This is nothing new for us. Like I say, we've been going for years. And don't worry, if you can't make it, we're gonna take you with us. Now it's up in the air. I got 4 plates and 6 balls juggling, is what I'm saying. We plan to take the Mountain Dew car, however possible. Jessica really wants to take Longmire with her friend Haley. We got a ton of work to do on that. We got to finish this up. And stick around because I've got a build that you guys haven't seen yet. I've been keeping a secret on you. Something that Dave Chappelle and I built on Roadworthy Rescues, and now it's been up at Volunteer Muffler and Performance, getting a bunch of work done. We might have to do some finishing touches on that as well. Anyway, we're gonna have the motley crew of cruisers. Let's dig in. I got a lot of work to do. Oh, where do we start? Fuel pump. Old Darrell Waltrip here is hogging the lift. We got to get him out so we can get Longmire in. I got a ton to do on that truck. We've got fuel access. We've got to replace a fuel pump. Jessica wants the shifter modified. We've got to change fluids. We've got to go through ignition. The list is long. I just fired this car on the Stealth EFI system from Holley, but I'm running the digital fuel pump off of Milwaukee battery, tossed up on the axle there. And what else would you expect? So we got to finish the wiring on that. I'd also like to change fluids on this and just do a once over. Again, it might be a friend or I don't know, just some guy or gal driving this car on Power Tour. I want to make sure it's 100% ready to go. And one of the reasons we're taking it on Power Tour is not only so you guys can see it, but just prove that it's a roadworthy rig. You could drive it around wherever you want. As a reminder, we're giving this car away. Right now, you can get entered to win at vicegripgarage.com. Every $5 gets you 1 entry for the car and $5,000 cash. So we want to make sure we get some miles on this new system and work any bugs out that it may have. All right, so let's get this back up, get this fuel pump wired in, and then we got quick connect steering wheel. I see I threw up here as well. I need to clone myself, is what I need. So essentially we got to run this. I'm going to tuck it up and hide it really good, get it up high above the exhaust, bring it up over here, and then tie it in right here to this guy. We also have to finish up the vent. This is a vent or rollover valve, I guess you could say as well. And then we've got ground, tank ground, and fuel sending unit, which we want to hook that up with the new tank there. And then we should be done with all of the fuel stuff. Then we can come back and I think I'm going to go ahead and change the oil. This car does not have a lot of miles, but it's got this really old filter in here. So I want to go ahead and change on the oil. We'll put some nice oil on this. And this thing should be ready to go. We just got to get some miles on the thing. Went ahead and put a male-female combo on this. So if this fuel pump ever needs to be replaced, they can just beep, unplug it here. Used weather seals and then taped it up real good. Been trying to drill this out for a minute, but all my Christmas tree bits, well, they're dull, real dull. Well, we're getting there. Figuring if I could pop a hole in there, I could just thread that through, make a quick loop, plug that in, we'll be set. I'm just gonna keep grinding here. Vent is done. It looks nice. There's a little check ball in here and a little vent screen. On that side, got our loops in it, so that's all done up front. Plus we've got a new ground back here, cleaned that up, ran a screw through. I was gonna use the original connector on this, but a guy just didn't trust her. She was a little, well, that's the old, she's a little crusty. So we jammed the new connector in there. Hopefully we got a fuel gauge. Those are handy, especially when you're traveling. So let's get the oil out of this thing. See what that's looking like. Put some fresh stuff in here, get a different filter in. Does this have a magnetic? Oh, it does. Called lean. Yeah, need a change. She had an old Pro Motive by Purelator in there, you know, race car stuff. So I wanted to show you guys, look how clean this engine is. I don't know if that was a crate motor or something at some point, because we know it was swapped. But anyway, well, guy got a new Wix up in there, right the date and the miles down. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever told you that before. Window stickers get lost and stuff. Guy needs to know what's going on, is what I'm saying. All right, let's get this car back down, fill her up with oil. Old school chrome wheel here. Now back in the day, it would have been a lot taller, so you have less input, and there would have been a big pad in the center. That's kind of not feasible for a daily driver kind of setup here, but I want to do a little bit better than this one than just replace that El Cheapo. I got this one here, which I was actually going to put on Liberty Chevelle, but we'll use it here. This is actually a dirt track wheel, and it is like 3 ounces. There's no weight to this, but you can see how it's got that old school industrial look. And if I can, we're kind of try to adapt this quick connector in as well, so we can pull the wheel on and off. You're not going to need to, but if you wanted to, like a race car, throw it up on the dash for a show or something, sure, go on right ahead. But see, this has got tilt for the big boys like myself to get out. So let's take this off, take it all apart, see if we can get that hub off and adapt this in, maybe. Well, I got the 3 little bolts out and discovered she's got electric power steering. No, the wheel was actually just falling off. This is finger tight, so I guess good thing we looked. Now this one is not bad. We're gonna put it on a shelf. Yeah, you might have called me a hoarder. Whatever, we'll use it. I don't need a horn button on everything. Okay, we still got to get this thing off though. I do know that, and we might need a puller for this part of the deal. Got it, Leatherman. Okay, now we'll get that quick connect, and that should just, and then we bolt that on, and then the wheel to the quick connect, and we should be able to just put that wheel on and off like that. Boy, that's gonna be a lot of room, because that wheel is gonna go forward too, because it doesn't have that same dish. So it's gonna be about perfect if you're Sasquatch size, you know what I mean? Tilt doesn't mess around. Adapter spline thing is on. I think I got her lined up. One of these. That, well, that's kind of, it might be a smidge off. Oh, I think that's the one. Yeah, right there. So we'll lay that like that. Put this nut back on, which the previous one was finger tight. That seems fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That is taut. Okay. Then, oh yeah. Oh, that looks so much better. What do you guys think? Huh? Yeah, that one? That? This? 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 Both of them. I don't know. Just comment below. Is this the right move or not? That horn button was just driving me nuts. Okay. Whoa. Almost put that on backwards. Now, if a guy ever wants to add a trans brake or any sort of buttons, You got all the provisions in here to do that. Ha! Sweet. I think they make some sort of cover back piece there, but I don't really, it doesn't really mind me much. I don't mind it. It doesn't mind, we don't mind each other. Whatever. That is done. Well, the guy's gonna find a gallon or two out of one of the lawnmower jugs around here, toss it in the dew car here. Let's run down to the gas station, top this thing off, go for a cruise, let the computerize and tune and all that stuff, and then, you know, we better see if it doesn't burn out. Feed her some onions, give her the coal. Because science and quality testing assurance programs associated. Okay. Well, we're all fueled up. Gas gauge is working. I'm gonna throw the air on. Let's go cruise Tennessee. We've got a storm coming in. We'll just head south. Go see what we can find. Got the new car back in the barn here. Boy, I went every direction but down. Well, up too, I guess. Trying to get around that storm. Try to find some dry pavement so we can let some smoke out of the tires here, and I just couldn't get it done. It was fun sliding around in the rain though. This thing effortlessly goes, I mean, 1/43 and a half throttle. I'll bring it all the way around. Oh, here comes the thunders and lightnings. But I got to do a couple things. I need to put a timing light on this and verify timing really quick. There's a static timing feature. You could put a light on it and then make adjustments there. So I wasn't really sending her in the ripums. I got excited to go for a cruise. Car is running fantastic though. It's learning very quickly. The other thing I need to do is adjust the line pressure on the transmission, the TV cable. Got to make a small adjustment there, and then the car should be good to go. I gotta run into Nashville, do some errands. Jessica wants to ride in the car, so we're gonna put some more miles on it before power tour. Just make sure that this thing is absolutely dialed. Now, after I make those adjustments, we can get this out, get a Longmire in. I got a long list to go on that truck. I'm gonna show you this quick. I've set the static timing to 15 degrees. So now the ECU is gonna hold it at 15. So we can come over here, 15 degrees. And I know it's hard for you guys to see this, but it is absolutely right on the money, which is great. We don't need to make any adjustments. Well, we're cruising in the Nashville. Car's doing great, 178 degrees. It's learning, doing its thing. It's got great oil pressure. It rides really good. Jessica's with me. Yep. What do you think of the new car?
I do not want to get rid of it. It's so cool. It's so cool.
One of the first things you said was it's really comfortable, huh?
It's so, yeah, the seats are like
Plush.
big and squishy.
We figured out the cigarette lighter works. Yep. We also figured out not only does the radio work, but we're playing through the CDs in the trunk. And what kind of music are they?
It's like all racetrack music. Like what is the singer, did you think?
Well, it reminded me of the Disney Chick Hicks.
Yes.
Or Hicks Chicks or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like all racetrack music.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. It's like, you know, full-on tribute car. You just crank the radio and you got all that stuff. But we're gonna go run some errands, let the car do its thing. Man, it doesn't pull, nothing. I don't know, this is one cool car. Big stock car chick over here.
Oh my gosh, this is so great.
Oh, it sounds so good. crack the pipe a little. Yes. It's fun to drive, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's so comfortable. Like, I might have to be the one who wins this car, I think.
The rules say you can't.
I
Sorry.
know, dang it. Like, what if like the person who wins it, we'll just offer to buy it back from them.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
maybe,
really?
maybe.
I love this car.
Heading home. It's gonna be another really late night and early morning for me. Still got a long list to do at Longmire, but let's get back to the barn and get to work. Daryl is kicked out for now, and Longmire is in the barn. The plan right now is Jessica wants to try to take this on power tour. She just loves this truck, but it needs quite a bit of work. I'm gonna be out here, quite honestly, till probably 3 or 4 in the morning to get this done because we leave tomorrow around 7:30. So let's get done what we can. I bought this truck for my dually and it just didn't look right. And I set it in here, was pondering on it, but also too shiny, not quite a fan. Now if I recessed that or Frenched it in, I think that'd be pretty sweet. If it was like this high out, where you could just grab the latch, have some storage, but project for another day. We've got quite a list on this thing. We got the EFI done. This thing is running. I can't even tell you or explain how good this thing runs with this EFI on there now. This is pretty much what we did last time. Fuel tank relocation, EFI, we fixed the seat, but there is a lot to do here. Some of this we already threw the hat in. Power steering. I have a gearbox ordered from Layers Corp. They did the quick gearbox and independence and a couple other things for me. It's not a direct fit. It's quite a project, actually. That just showed up this afternoon. Not gonna have time to tackle that right now. I wanna do electric power steering on here. I wanna do some dish or bowls or bathtubs, whatever you wanna call them, for the wheels as well. That's kind of another big project. I gotta get after the important stuff for a road trip here. Fuel pump, we just put one in, but I broke it. So I gotta put another one in. We should probably look at fixing that shock. We gotta put the bed back together, which isn't even on here. We need to modify that shifter. I need to change the oil on this thing. I always tell you guys, put the date in the something, mileage at least. 9/10 of 22 on that Wix. We gotta change that. Cooling fan would be nice. I gotta fix the tail light. It's just a lot of piddly stuff, but we got to get after it. So let's get this up in the air and let's get started on that fuel pump. I'll show you what I did. Idiot move. Guy finished up on the truck last time. I usually like to bring them back in and go through them again just really quick, bumper to bumper, make sure I didn't forget anything. Nut and bolt check everything, make sure there's no tools or lights hanging under the rig, whatever else. Anyway, I decided, you know what, that fuel pump, I better snug on them nuts a little bit, you know, vibration. Snap! Idiot. Broke off. Oh, well, I fixed it though. I'll show you. Snapped off one of these nuts. The positive one. I mean, obviously I fixed it, but it's just barely making contact. And believe it or not, we've put about 540 miles on this truck. Exactly like this. This has been just scraping on the ground, eating away. It's for lightning protection. So we're gonna get rid of this little rinky-dinky thing. I got a nice, a bigger Holly pump actually that's can be mounted a little bit better and longevity. I think it's gonna be better. And I got a spare we're gonna throw in the truck. Everything else kind of stays the same. We gotta swap this out quick. So this one's made by Holley. It's not a third-party unit per se. It's a 12-800, and as you can see, it's a hefty boy. It's a much better built pump. About the same calculations as far as everything goes mechanically and scientifically, but it's just a better unit overall. We're gonna put these fittings in here, and then we're gonna go to our typical vapor guard right there. This is obviously a bigger one, so we're gonna have to shrink up line on one side, but let's get this popped in quick. thing of three about a Thringer one. Guy spilt about $13.87 in gasoline. The good news is, though, I got to wipe up the floor. You know, never waste it from all the work we did on Daryl. You want to live on the edge for a minute, drill a hole or two and do some heat gun work while standing in a puddle of gasoline. We must have hit an artery when we ran this fuel line, because she was flowing like Easy-E back in the day. Nonetheless, new pump is in. Even use the correct clamps. I know, it's getting weird. Correct fittings, all that stuff, you know. So Jessica said do it right. We're trying. It's mounted. So, okay, I think that is done. We got to move on to this big project back here. Reassembling the bed, and we got to get an access hole or door or gate or lid or flipper flapper or Tupperware to the fuel fill. Like I say, I've put a few hundred miles on this truck, which is several tanks of gasoline. I tried to fill it under the bed planks, boards. Not gonna work. We gotta do something else. Well, we gotta get, like I say, something cut in for that. I tried to see if it was possible filling it down there, and it's not. These guys do make different tanks. There's a lot of different tanks out there that have filler necks in the back and the corners and other provisions and hideaway tail lights. And listen, this was given to me. That was free. So we're just using it, okay? Now I'm gonna put this board back in and this board back in. So I have these two in the center loosey-goosey. Then we can come up with a game plan. We might even snug those down. Actually, I think I will, because we can run like a welding wire or something down the center to locate our filler cap and just figure it out. So let's go ahead and put these boards back together. Now that I spent 15 years taking them apart, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do for the door. I'm not a woodworker. Can you torch wood? Like cut it? Oh, we're gonna find out. You didn't miss anything. Times 39. I'm down to this board. See, this is my floater. You gotta have a floatalizer. What I'm thinking is, a guy can actually kind of see that filler neck. And I've just been pondering, do I want to scooch it this way? Because, you know, gas nozzles are curved. Well, just let me show you. Restroom's not done yet, but I picked up this really cool lamp. We're gonna do something. See this shape? So the hole is way over here, but in order for this fixture to fit in, you kind of need an elongated area, right? So I've been pondering that. Am I overthinking it? Do I just want to do it this way? That doesn't make sense because wind. Do I just center it? I mean, we might just have to send it. Flip the lid open and you just free pour. You know what I mean? We could always put a piece of hose on. I don't know. It's really early in the morning. I'm just thinking going with center. Also, as luck would have it, as I beforehand mentioned, I don't have any woodworking tools. This is not a wood shop. You know what I mean? So sawzall? Torch? I don't know. I'm gonna trace this out. I guess we're just gonna give her. And whatever it is what it is. I put these in here just to kind of give me the spacing. I've been using water displacement on the 40th try on all these because a lot of them were so rotted they almost didn't come out. So I want to make sure we can get this bed off again in the future. So I'm going to get a marker, trace this out, cut it, see what happens. This is one of those times I need my buddy Jimmy DeRista here because he would know what to do. I don't know. I'm just using laws of metals, cutting corners. That's what I do best. I figure if I get the corners cut out, I can come back with a sawzall or a death wheel or something. Boy, I just packed this full in a hurry, didn't I? How do you run these? Off. Ouch, it's hot. Wood, get out. Leave. Need you out of the... I need you out of the thing now. Great. This is probably some sort of monthly subscription to get this to come out of here. Yeah. Any of you guys woodworking fellers? It's gotta be. How would you do this? Comment down below. Probably, what do they call them? Routers? Rotor-routers? Routers? Oh, no. Jigsaw puzzle saw. Jigsaw. That might be the way to go. I don't know. A lot of you is probably giggling at me saying, he ain't really going to use a death wheel. Yep. Here we go. Let's start a fire right above the fuel tank. Okay. I want to admit, that worked considerably better than when I ran it through my head. I'm using a diamond blade. Cuts everything. I don't know. Ha! Whoa! Watch the woodwork. I think I gave her too much HPs on that one. That could work. Oh. Gotta take the line. This thing just eats the wood. I can't believe it, but I'm looking right at it with sawdust in my pupils. So that's what burning wood smells like. Then, does the guy have a saw? Of course he does. I mean, Bob Vila keeps calling, but I got better things to do at this point. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure this is nails down a chalkboard for you woodworking fellers. But listen, what did you expect? Well, there we were. You know, albeit extremely dangerous, went ahead and ran a torch around here as well. Seared her up. You don't want it rare. We just want it rare. And that looks, I mean, come on now. That's pretty good. And then we'll just throw this over here. Run some screws through this bad boy. And this should just do that. Guy pre-drilled some holes here and then ran these trim screws through. They got this little washer thing on them. I don't know. It seemed like the right thing to do. Now I've got to put a slat over this, make some marks, and then cut those said slats and get them in position. And then it came with this little magnetic button door. I don't know, reminds me of Kia furniture. I think we're gonna go ahead and try to use that because right now, yeah, it doesn't open. I've tried clapping and all sorts of stuff and it's stuck. Oh, need a washer. That's great. Wow, for crying in the mud. Well, I definitely didn't over torque that bolt. It was manufacturer defect. No, I gave her way too much. Anyway, this chunk is actually the chunk we cut out of here. This is the piece that was here with the original hole and the snapped off bolt. So I used this chunk and put it over here, drilled a hole in the subframe below, self-tapped it, and if you squint, it's mint, right? So now we're good. Now, whoop. Okay, so now we just gotta figure out this button thing. I think it goes like, it's gonna go in like that. Oh, the wood's in the way. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to try to figure that out. Well, after eating 16 pounds of sawdust, got the fuel door in. Now back to something I know a little bit about. Spilling 19 quarts of oil on the floor. Let's go ahead and change this oil super quick. And we'll come back up top and we're gonna put some new sparkulators in this thing. This had a carburetor on her, and man, I tried to dial that in, something fierce. Yeah, and you know, 17 million times taking it off and going through it, just got tired of it. Went to the EFI here, which is working great, but I kept following plugs, is what I'm saying. That's where I'm going with this. The plugs that are in it, well, you'll see, they're shot. So we're gonna put some clean ones in now that we're stoked. They're running good, and the lightning hoses should be fine. Lightning whirler, all that's pretty much brand new, so we should be good there as well. Just trying to cross off some of the little things, you know, the gotchas. You can get out on the highway cruising. Nice thing about these old GMs, the BOPCs really is, there's not a parts store in America, coast to coast, that doesn't have what you need in stock. That, quite honestly. I get asked about these wheels a lot. 245 40/20s front and rear. Big old boys. But they fill the fender wells nicely. These 292s take a very special ranch up here. It's a croissant ranch. If you can, get yourself one of these. Wow, almost rolled the truck off the lift. One of these locking croissant ranches. Now you're uptown. You might even get a little bit off your Applebee's steak. I don't know. Whoa. There we go. Well, we got all the oil out, like I thought. She's pretty much full of fuel. She's just running super rich. We got a new Wix filter on down there. Got the date on her, of course, you know. And then I realized I never bought any Earl for this thing, so we're gonna have to go dig in the cabinet and see what we got. It might get a little dicier, some mix and match. You know, like the old soda fountain tornadoes. Little ice. Stay away from the fruit punch now. That's pretty spicy. Well, let's see what we can find. Well, the old straight stick's getting a real treat here with the Earls. I'd run 1540 all day long in this. Honestly, anything. Think about this. 1966. Think about the quality of oil and what they were putting in this thing. Anything is better than that. But I found 2 half jugs of VR1, which is a high zinc stuff. I don't even know what I was using that on. One's so old it doesn't even have the updated logo on it. But I think I got almost 6 quarts here, which is about perfect. So we're going to go ahead and top this puppy off with that and let her chew on this. Let's go ahead and snag out these old sparkulators here. We're going to be moving from the champions. Oh, it's French, I think. And then, no, it's Albert Champion, of course. We're going to move to the AC Delcos, and they should be pre-gapped, ready to rock. And we'll just look for any mechanical damage or anything that's weird or odd. But my shaking is all pretty much well taken up. I might got some soggy motor mounts at this point, but other than that, I'm not too overly concerned. Plus, we don't got a lot of blow-by. But we'll just scan just in case. Do a quick oil pressure check here. Oh, Jessica's got the seat all the way forward. Oh yeah, we put a new fuel pump in it too. Let that prime. Look at that, no choke, no pumping it 58,000 times. 50 pounds. Great oil pressure. All right, we can knock that off the list. Just fired it again and did a ignition test. She's running like a sewing machine. I gotta be honest, I am fried. The candle's burning at both ends in the middle. I gotta get some sleep. It's about 1:40 in the morning. I'm supposed to be leaving here in about 5 hours, give or take. So I don't know. I don't know if this truck's gonna make power tour or not. We got some pretty big lists here. Cooling fan. We got a shock under there that needs fixed. Bentley noticed the heater core was leaking. The shifter needs to be fixed for Jessica. But we got some of the main things taken care of. Oil change, plugs, fuel pump, got access to the fuel tank. That's pretty neat, you know? But I guess you guys are gonna have to stay tuned and see if this thing's gonna actually make it on Power Tour. And that's one of the nice things about Power Tour is it's a lot of work getting there for most folks, but it's a vacation. It really is. Even though you're still working on your rigs every day and changing fluids, and zip ties that and tape and whatever else. I have met some lifetime long friends on Power Tour, and it's a lot of fun to kind of let your hair down, relax, have some fun. So if you can make it, please, by all means do. We're going to be posting our whereabouts every day because we're kind of doing our own thing this year. We're not doing the midway. We're not going to be at a fancy booth or any of that stuff. We're going old school, the way it started. We're going to be out in the parking lot, tailgating, just hanging with you folks, having fun, looking at hot rods, burning hot dogs, you know, wetting down the back neck, that kind of thing. We're going to be posting probably, if I remember, our location every day. We're going to drop a pin over at the face space and the Insta letters. I know a lot of you guys don't do that stuff, but it's the easiest way to communicate to the masses. So you can come find us in the parking lot. We'll try to do a map or something. So if you can make it out to a location, awesome. If not, again, don't worry. We're going to take you with for the ride. Plan is this year, just cruise. Take it easy. We want to see back roads of America. We're not doing any highway stuff. We want to see museums and antique shops and ice cream shops. And hopefully we run into some old cars and stuff like that. I'm trying to let Jessica let me take a checkbook, but I don't know if that's going to work. You never know. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. I got to get some rest. Thank you guys once again for watching Vice Grip Garage. I appreciate all of you very, very much. We'll see you soon on the open road.